Every time that you hear a Republican talk about the Supreme Court, that we need to offer due deference to them, and they're the highest court, and they're honorable, and they are dispassionate, and there is no ethics conflicts, like John Roberts has been trying to say for years and years and years and years, pushing back against actual rules being implemented, everything, they bristle at any criticism whatsoever. And then every time our concerns in liberal circles, in leftist circles, every time our concerns are validated, that they are not impartial, that they are activist judges who are changing the very nature of our country through culture and law. It is disgusting. And now we're learning that post-insurrection against the country, while the Supreme Court was hearing arguments about the election, Samuel Alito flew a flag in his yard upside down that had become a symbol of Stop the Steal. Now listen, a lot of people out there, the trolls, are going, that's not what that means. It means a ship is in distress. There's actual meaning behind it. Of course, but Samuel Alito's not the captain of a ship, you morons. He's a Supreme Court justice who has a duty to be dispassionate, to be impartial. It's baked in to the goddamn job. And here he is flying a flag upside down that was a symbol of Stop the Steal. Here's the headline from the New York Times. At Justice Alito's house, a Stop the Steal symbol on display. An upside-down flag adopted by Trump supporters contesting the Biden victory flew over the justice's front lawn as the Supreme Court was considering an election case. Listen to this. After the 2020 presidential election, as some Trump supporters falsely claimed that President Biden had stolen the office, many of them displayed a startling symbol outside their homes, on their cars, and in online posts, an upside-down American flag. One of the homes flying an inverted flag during that time was the residence of Supreme Court Justice Samuel A. Alito Jr. in Alexandria, Virginia, according to photographs and interviews with neighbors. Now, I don't know why this took 3 years to come out. It's bothersome. I also think it's bothersome that the New York Times is choosing very specific language here. One of the homes flying an inverted flag. Homes don't fly flags, New York Times. Homes are inanimate objects. People fly flags. Samuel Alito flew the flag. His home did not fly the flag. The upside-down flag was aloft on January 17th, 2021, the images showed. President Donald Trump supporters, including some brandishing the same symbol, had rioted at the Capitol a little over a week before. Mr. Biden's inauguration was 3 days away. Alarmed neighbors snapped photographs, some of which were recently obtained by the New York Times. Word of the flag filtered back to the court, people who worked there said in interviews. While the flag was up, the court was still contending with whether to hear a 2020 election case, with Alito on the losing end of that decision. Do you hear that? While he's flying the Stop the Steal symbol in front of his house, he is dissenting with the majority in a case about the election. He voted with, he ruled with Donald Trump. He came down on that side while flying the Stop the Steal symbol in front of his house. In coming weeks, the justices will rule on 2 climactic cases involving the storming of the Capitol on January 6, including whether Mr. Trump has immunity for his actions. Their decision will shape how accountable he can be held for trying to overturn the last presidential election and his chances for re-election in the upcoming one. Quote, I had no involvement whatsoever in flying of the flag, Justice Alito said in an emailed statement to the Times. It was briefly placed by Mrs. Alito in response to a neighbor's use of objectionable and personally insulting language on yard signs. Oh, did they hurt your feelings with campaign signs, Mr. Alito? Are you blaming your wife Justice Alito? That's very bold and manly and masculine of you to place the blame on your wife. You coward. Judicial experts said in interviews that the flag was a clear violation of ethics rules, which seek to avoid even the appearance of bias, and could sow doubt about Justice Alito's impartiality in cases related to the election and the Capitol riot. Do you think? Do you think it'll cast doubt on people's, is it going to reassure people that he's going to be able to be impartial while he flew the symbol for the conspiracy theory about stop the steal? Samuel Alito should be removed from his post. He cannot be impartial. He cannot do his job. He has shown himself to be a partisan activist hack time after time after time in ruling after ruling after ruling. You should be wildly upset about this. There should be a group of people outside the court right now protesting his involvement in any ruling going forward. The mere impression of political opinion can be a problem, the ethics expert said. It might be his spouse or someone else living in his home, but he shouldn't have it in his yard as a message to the world, said Amanda Frost, a law professor at the University of Virginia. Final paragraph. This is the equivalent of putting a stop the steal sign in your yard, which is a problem if you're deciding election-related cases. Truer words. But will this matter to Republicans? No. They do not care about decorum. They do not care about tradition. They do not care about ethics or morals or any other social bonds, any other social norms. They don't care about that. What they want is to fundamentally and structurally change our culture, our laws, to mirror their white Christian nationalist worldview. And it starts, or maybe ends, with a man like Samuel Alito, who does not give a single shit about marginalized groups, about fairness, about equality, about equity, about democracy, because he is in the power structure. He is a rich, white man. I don't know why. When I look around, people are not radicalized by these moments. And I don't mean radical as in doing something unhinged or violent. I mean it colloquially, like a radicalizing moment for someone. Some people's radicalizing moment is when they get cancer and they're buried in medical debt and they become an activist for Medicare for all. Some people's radicalizing moment is having a child gunned down in a school shooting and they become an activist for that particular issue. We need more radicals. Become a radical. Find your radicalizing moment, your issue. What do you think? What is your radicalizing issue? Comment below. You can call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, as always, say it every time. You can email me daily at dollemore.com. I do want to hear from you. Please consider supporting this work, helping me make these videos, helping me reach the people that I reach on a monthly basis. Click the join button wherever it is down here. For $2 a month, you can help me make these videos. You can also go over to my Patreon page, just another giving mechanism, patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Follow me on social media if that's your thing. I'd love to see you there. Say hi, and I'll say hi back. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.